Hey guys, it has been quite a number of years since I've been back on YouTube, and I thought I would start back by having an update video and a little bit of my birth story. Where I last left you guys, I was with my boyfriend at the time for, how long were we together for? I reckon probably like 5 years into the relationship. Now we're engaged. Finally, he proposed 10 years and 5 months into our relationship. Thank goodness he took his time, but it was the cutest proposal ever. I actually, you know what? Let's spill the tea. I'm gonna tell you all about it. So, backstory. Basically, I wanted to take our son to the aquarium here in Cairns for such a long time, and he was like, yeah, like we'll do it on the weekend, but he was working so much. Like at the moment, we are both working like 7 days a week. It's wild. But yeah, he was like, yep, all right, let's go take him to the aquarium. I'll take Friday off work and we'll go take Theo to the aquarium and we'll spend the day together. And I was like, okay, sick. He never takes a day off work. So I was like, amazing. Like, I'm so excited to go see the aquarium. Like, apparently it's the best, and it is. It's beautiful in there. So yeah, we walked through the whole aquarium, and he was like, I don't know, he was like nervous, but like kind of off. And I was like, must be having a bad day, or just, he seemed not quite himself. And yeah, we got to like the end tunnel of the aquarium. If you guys have ever been there before, it's basically like this like ginormous tunnel, and it has like all the aquarium above you with like sharks and obviously fish and all that kind of stuff. So we were like right at the end, and he was like, do you want to stand there with Theo, like, and I'll take a photo of you guys? And I was like, perfect, because I was taking photos like the whole day. Like, it's so beautiful there and so many cool different things. So I was like, yep, awesome. And so we're standing with like my back like away from him with Theo. Theo is in the pram, and he like comes up behind me, and he was like, I have a question to ask you. And I was like, I like turn around, and he's on one knee, and it was like the cutest thing ever. He was like dripping in sweat and so nervous, and apparently he asked me twice, but I didn't hear him the first time. So yeah, and then I was like, yes, of course I'll marry you. Like, it took so long. Finally engaged though. So yeah, that happened in October last year. So currently I'm in the wedding planning stage of my life. So yeah, that's where I'm at with like relationships. And obviously I had a baby, as I was just saying before. His name is Theo, and he is literally the best thing in the entire world. Like, I don't know what I was doing with all my time before having a baby. But he is the best thing ever. So he's 15 months old at the moment. And yeah, we were trying for quite a while for our little baby. So it was almost a year that we were trying for. So he took his time. But yeah, my pregnancy was rough. I absolutely hated being pregnant. Anyone who says they love being pregnant, you're lying. I swear it's not the worst thing ever. Like, my morning sickness was horrendous. I was pretty much sick, I reckon, for probably like close to 7 weeks straight. I was still working like 3 jobs at the time. And so I was having to take the anti-nausea tablets, like the wafers, and I was having to take like 2 a day, and it still wasn't really helping. It was so bad. It was just, I really hated being pregnant. So yeah, that was like the first trimester, and then we got to about 12 weeks, 11 and a half weeks, and my morning sickness finally went away. And then like second trimester I had like growing cramps. So of course you're going to be growing, but I was like all belly. So I'll post some photos in here now, but I was I was like all belly. And so the growing cramps in the second trimester were horrible. Basically from, I would say 18, 19 weeks, I basically had to like strap my ribs because my ribs were expanding, and it was just like the pain in the middle of my ribs was so bad. So I had to literally like strap underneath my ribs. And then obviously third trimester, I was just so pregnant, and my back was so sore by like not even by the end of the day, by like 10 a.m. my back was so sore because I was just all on the front, and so like having to hold my belly, not a vibe. So yeah, got to 40 weeks, which is full trimester, full pregnancy, and he was not really anywhere to be seen. My birth plan was very natural. I didn't want to be induced. I wanted to have basically I didn't want to have any medication or anything that I didn't need to have. And so yeah, got to my 40-week appointment with my midwife, and she was like, in a week we're probably going to have to naturally sort of induce you, so we'll do like the stretch and sweep. And I was like, don't really want to do that, but I guess like, you know, if he's not going to come by then I guess it's something we can sort of look into. And then it got to 40 and 2, so I was 40 weeks and 2 days, and we were going out to lunch on the way home. So this was about 2:30 in the afternoon. I started to get cramps, and I was like, oh no, like the contractions basically started from 2:30 in the afternoon on Sunday. Yes, Sunday, 2:30 in the afternoon. And so was like cramping and contracting like all afternoon, and then it got to about 9 p.m. at night and my water broke. And thank goodness I was just laying on the bed, like I was just trying to get as much rest and sleep as possible. And yeah, so my water broke at 9 p.m. and like I was like laying on a towel because it was just like so much water. So graphic, sorry. But yeah, it was such a hectic experience having like your water naturally breaking. And so it got to, I was like contracting all night. It was basically between the TENS machine, which is basically like this like muscle like sticker things that you put on your back, and they like stimulate like muscles. It's supposed to help with cramping. So I was tossing between like the TENS machine and then the hot shower, TENS machine, hot shower, and you obviously can't have the TENS machine on while you're in the shower. So I was just like mixing between the both to just try and help with contractions. And then it got to about 7 a.m. the next day. So at this point we hadn't slept. Yeah, so on the Sunday morning, I woke up at probably like 5:36 a.m. And so at this point, it had been 25 hours that we haven't slept for. No, I don't know, a long time. And so we got to, 7 a.m. my contractions were starting to get really intense. So they were about a minute, 2 minutes apart and lasting for about a minute. It's not a vibe. It was so intense. And so by 8 a.m. or by like 7:30, James rang the midwife and was like, hey, like, you know, we'd been talking to her like overnight and everything, especially when my water broke. And yeah, it got to like 7:30, 8 a.m. and she was like, all right, like start making your way into the hospital. You know, your contractions are quite short apart now, so start making your way in. And yeah, so we got in the car, and I remember looking at the clock in the car and it was 8 a.m. on the way in. And then I was like, my mind like switched back and I was like, it's a Monday morning, 8 a.m. that means traffic. And I was basically having real intense contractions the entire way, sitting in like bumper to bumper traffic going from our house into town to the hospital. And so that was fun. I kind of blacked out for quite a lot of it, thank goodness, but yeah, it was not a fun ride into town. And then, so we got into the hospital. James pulled into like the emergency bay, or like just before the emergency bay. And then someone like luckily saw me like trying to hobble my way into the hospital, and they brought us out a wheelchair, and they were like, good luck. And I was like, thanks. Shit. I'm actually here to give birth now. Fucking hell. And then, yeah, so got into our room, and because we were in the MGP program, which is amazing, like if you are pregnant or thinking about getting pregnant, definitely try and get into the program. It is amazing. We had the same midwife through my entire pregnancy, and then for the birth as well. So my birth plan was, basically trying to not have any drugs. Like I wasn't planning on having an epidural. My sister is actually definitely allergic to fentanyl. She goes into like anaphylactic shock and stuff, and because I hadn't tested myself before becoming pregnant that if I was allergic to a epidural, that just like it wasn't really on my plan at all. And also I just really didn't want to have Theo drugged up when he came out. So obviously you have a lot of drugs in your system to be able to be numb, like waist down. So yeah, it was just not my plan to have any kind of drugs or anything. So I basically winged it. And so yeah, got into the room, and it was just in the hot shower, and then my contractions not stopped, but they slowed down a little bit. So my midwife did like these massages basically on my feet and my ankles, and it was basically to hit the pressure points to bring on labor again, which is why when you're pregnant you can't really go for massages, because you can go into early labor. So yeah, and then it got to probably about midday, the contractions started like being real intense then. And yeah, I was basically laying in the bed. I was basically laying in the bed by this point, because we hadn't slept in such a long time. It was probably close to like, overall we didn't sleep, like me and James didn't sleep for about 40 hours straight. And so it was a real, like by the end of my labor I was getting really tired, obviously, because it's such an intense process, and you were just physically and mentally exhausted by that point. So yeah, the contractions started to really fasten up by like midday, and got to about 1 o'clock, and then I was in the transition period, which is basically where you start to get like the shakes, where your body is literally transitioning into being a mum. So you've got the shakes, you've got the sweats, you're in between, you can be vomiting, you can be really nauseous, you get really cold, you get really hot. So it's just a real intense process for your body to go through. And yeah, and then it got to about 2 o'clock, and my midwife was like, like the bath take, I originally wanted a water birth. So my midwife was like, let's start filling up the bathtub, because it is quite a large, basically spa bath in the hospital. And so I was like, yep, perfect, like start filling that up. And Theo just did not want to wait anymore. So yeah, probably about 2:30 I started pushing. I was like on all fours on the bed, and then I was on my back, and then on my side. I was just trying all different positions to help move him into the right position to be able to come out properly. And yeah, he basically, probably at about 3 p.m. We had like the monitor on my belly, because by that point it had been quite a number of hours that my water had broken, and I think it's like 12 hours, I'm pretty sure 12 hours that your water is broken, that they really basically need to get bub moving, because you don't want to have infection or anything like that, because the seal has basically broken. And so we basically, from like 3 p.m. I started pushing, and then his heart rate dropped. And so my midwife was like, his heart rate is starting to drop. We would really like, we're just going to have, basically just letting you know, we've got quite a few doctors in the room. And I remember like looking up, and before it was just my midwife, James, me, and then one of the senior midwives that comes in and out. And so I remember like sitting up and looking, and there was like 10, 15 doctors in front of us. And I remember James just like taking a step back and just kind of being in a little bit of shock, as well as myself. I was like, holy crap, like what's going on? There's just so many people in the room watching me give birth. It was very intense. And so yeah, his heart rate dropped a little bit, and they were like, look, like we really need to get him out kind of like ASAP. We'd want to do an episiotomy. This doctor was like, not quite blunt, but I remember just them being like, nope, we're going to do it this way. And I remember screaming at the doctor. I was like, no, that is not happening. And yeah, the next push, I pushed out Theo. I was not having a episiotomy. I was like, that's not happening. Like, I don't want any intervention. Like, let me do my thing. And I full went into like mama bear mode, and just like, I remember just pushing so hard, and he was, yep, out in the next push. And yeah, he came out perfect. It's just like, I'll post some photos here. And this is it when Theo was born. Like such emotional photos. It's literally one of the most pinnacle points in my life, and it was just amazing. Like such an amazing experience. It fucking hurt a lot, but I felt like such a superwoman after. I was like, I can do anything. Like, oh my God, I just pushed out a whole human. It was just such a wild experience. And yeah, it was amazing. It was, yeah. So basically, after I gave birth, I obviously had to push out my placenta. Because I had such a long labor, I had one of the injections to help push it out quicker. And I was like, yep, cool, whatever. Like he's out and he's on me and he's alive and healthy, so I don't care. And so yeah, placenta came out, and then she was like, you're gonna need a few stitches. And I was like, sick. So I had 5 internal and 5 external stitches, which was not fun at all. But yeah, it was basically, we didn't sleep for 40 hours. I was in labor for 25 hours, which was such a long process. But my little boy was here, and he is 15 months now, and he is just like the light of our lives. He is the best. He is walking and running now. He is basically just a little hurricane and just tears through everything. And he's very close to talking, which is awesome. But also we're in that stage where he is like whinging and pointing, and it's driving me nuts, the whinging. I'm like, just speak English, please. So when he knows words and understands them a lot better, I think it'll be a lot easier. But yes, it is such an amazing experience being a mum, and I am like so thankful for my body to be able to do that. Like, it was a long process falling pregnant, and obviously the pregnancy itself was really rough, and the labor was pretty rough, but it was so worth it. Like, he is just the best thing ever. So yeah, that was my birth story. So yeah, engaged, had a baby. We're still in the same house that I last left you guys at. We've been in this house for 7 years now, and we're loving it. Like, it's a 3-bedroom, and one room is obviously Theo's. We've got the master with the ensuite, and then James's office. But we've like, because I'm like in the middle of planning wedding, I'm like, we are not having any more kids before we get married. Like, I want to look and feel my best at the wedding. So we were already talking. James was like, what if we have like 3 boys? Could you imagine? And so I was like, I don't know whether we're going to outgrow this house or not, but at the moment we're very happy here. It's in a really good location. It's beautiful. I love to style it exactly how I want. So yeah, that's kind of like the life update. A lot going on. We've been very, very busy. Yeah, crazy busy. And yeah, I'm happy to be back on YouTube. I hope you guys like these videos because I want to really get into it. Instagram is my main platform and I've been on that for like forever, and I do have TikTok as well, but I'm a little bit slack on posting there, to be honest. So yeah, Instagram, YouTube, I'm excited to get this platform up and running. But if you guys liked this video, a little up-to-date birth story, engagement story, please like this video, please subscribe. I've got quite a few videos coming up, so if you guys want to see more, listen to me babble on forever about not much, let me know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in my next video. See ya.